Every time when I run out of motivation or positive chi, I tend to look for him. Apart from his professional opinions, I guess his inspiration is just like my booster. And every time we eat good food, just like what we're going to do next. It's about time.
Follow your convictions. I'm Joey Yap.
Okay, every time when I mention to my friend Joey Yap, they would definitely say, oh, the young feng shui guy. So do you consider yourself really young as who you are today?
I think in the industry, possibly I was the youngest when I first began, because this practice is usually dominated by the elderly practitioners.
More mature, we would say.
I actually started practice when I was 20 years old, during my uni days. So
that was in Australia?
That was in Australia, and I've been in the practice, I think, for at least now 14 years, considering I started at 20. So it's been some time.
Do you still remember your first consultation? A young kid went to check feng shui for someone else.
Yeah, the first consultation obviously wasn't done in the way that we are doing right now. And I still remember that there was once during my first time when I first came out, someone actually just offered a red packet and there was only $1 in there, and I have to drive like 1 hour out from the city all the way to the house.
Didn't you set the rate before that?
Time, you know, you thought you ain't worth so much, so we thought, you know, just give a red packet, you know. So, but I'm making a point now, everything is done professionally, no more red packets.
You're now having seminars all over the world. I know you have seminar in KLCC, and the crowd is as big as 3,500 people. Do you still remember your first seminar?
My first actual seminar was actually done in Ireland, and that time there were like 16 people, and right behind the stage just before we begin, I was like already so scared to go up. That was like years ago. There were students there, we did a feng shui program, and people wanted to study. So interestingly, my career actually began outside of Malaysia, because I think the main concern was the age factor, because I think a lot of Asians has the perception that you know, you got to be old, elderly or mature,
More mature,
you know, to practice feng shui. So it was harder for me to begin, although I have a lot of technical knowledge, but they prefer at that time, you know, the image is always someone with, you know, white hair and stuff, then it's a feng shui practitioner. But so we didn't have this problem when we were practicing overseas. So in Australia, in London, in Ireland, when we first started practicing, it's all right to them, you know, they don't have that stereotypical, you know, image of a feng shui practitioner. So for them to learn something is basically just knowledge. So after gaining success, you know, abroad, then when coming back to Asia, to Malaysia and Singapore, then they would say, oh, you came back from overseas, you must be good.
Back to the Ireland experience, when you were on the stage, 16 people in front of you only.
It wasn't a stage, it was just a room.
It's a room.
Yeah.
How did you manage to finish the whole talk? Yeah, because I work on stage as well. If I have only 16 audience, I would be like, oh, I'm struggling.
At that time, 16 people was already too many for me, because I have no experience speaking in front of anyone, no public speaking skills, nothing. So being able to stand up and talk for, you know, a whole day was basically the most toughest thing. So at that time, you know, presentation, you know, we think that we know a lot of information, you give everything all out to the participants, and at the end of the day, they got nothing, you know. It's always important that you give them enough information that you learn through experience. So it was difficult at first, but after a while, we learned along the way.
Did you ever try in Malaysia before you started overseas?
No.
No, never.
It was always started. I started I started practicing in Australia during my uni days, and then subsequently to London, to Germany.
Okay, before you, feng shui consultation is always considered one of those skill-oriented type of work, which is hard to be replicated or duplicated because we cannot have another Joey Yap or a few more Joey Yaps. What was your breakthrough?
I think the most important thing is to create a workable system that can replicate the results. And then the second thing that we need is actually to create market education. You got to educate your clients. And once they're educated, they know that they're getting the results and the quality that they're getting. So we can have an organization of experts to help them deliver the results.
All right, that means it's you as an individual and your brand. Can I say this?
The brand is important, but the brand merely represents the quality of your work. So we still have to deliver the quality of work through our consultants. Obviously, we have to give a lot of training to our people. You see, the old days, the perception of feng shui is always a master and disciple. And they will never impart all the information to the disciple.
That's
and
the
therefore,
Chinese traditional thinking.
one of the greatest setbacks in this practice. So what I changed was the way this is done. So we actually offer training to our consultants to ensure that they deliver the same results under our brand. That's why we don't call ourselves masters. We consider ourselves practitioners. Calling someone a master without understanding their background and being whether they can deliver results is pointless, because anyone can call themselves a master. Be sure to catch the next episode. Follow your convictions. I'm Joey Yap.
Was your path a steady growing one, or was there any drastic change?
Well, of course, in any business, there's always ups and downs and difficulties, and mine in the feng shui industry was no different. When we first started, I was merely a fresh graduate out of university. Obviously, I do not have the experience to run a company. In fact, this is my first and only job, So learning along with the job, reading books on running a business and all that was obviously the way to, that's how I actually run my work today. And there has been lots of trouble even between running the company, dealing with people, dealing with clients, how do you deliver a good report, how to do follow-ups. All this has been a learning experience.
You do it all by yourself, and do you have any mentors, especially when it comes to the business part?
No official mentors per se, but clients through the many years has also become friends, and a lot of them are multi-millionaires, business owners, and since they're friends, I can also talk to them about how to run the business, and I do get lots of good business advice from them. So they're good, yeah. In a way, we learn from each other.
Should it be the way, for the youngsters to learn to do their business? Because some of them, they might have good academic results, but they don't know how to run a business. They run a business, they cannot make money. There are tons of them, right?
I think the most important thing that we get out from university is possibly networking. You network with lots of people in your university, and when you come out of university, I think that is the true learning begins after you graduate. And it is important that we enter the field that we enjoy, because then we will have passion to continue doing something and pursuing a dream. And as you do that, we would encounter lots of people, and we open up to new learning ideas.
Looking at your business, you have consultation, you have publications, software, seminars, academy. Which area to you is the most important, and which is the most money-making?
The most interesting part for me would be consulting. It's still part of the main business. Joey Yap Consulting Group does most of the work, because that is basically the main core, And education serves the other arm, you know, education through seminars and lessons. And many people think that's the biggest part.
Yeah.
But there's only one section of one segment of our business right here, because I think a lot of people would like to learn and do it themselves. But at the end of the day, you know, for business people, they rather get an expert to kind of fix it for them. So the consulting work is what we enjoy, because we enjoy problem solving and creating results for people.
And a lot of my friends, they were dying to get you to check their feng shui, but of course, you know, you're so busy, and I know you don't do everything.
We have people to handle different levels of our project these days. So if they would like to get a consultation, they always can call our firm and talk to some of the advisors, and then we can arrange, you know, how best to serve them.
Have you ever, I'm sure you have, people criticizing about your work or your people's work?
I think it's not about criticizing, it's more like follow-ups. Because I don't think there's any consulting in the world that can, you know, just do one time and then you get the results. It's all about following up, making sure that the end result is what the client actually wanted in the first place. So the team is in place to ensure that happens. You know, the problem is the old style in feng shui is basically the practitioner goes into the house, looks around, tells you what's wrong, and then they leave. I think today it's different. Today we have a preliminary consult, meaning first to understand the client needs, understand why they need to do feng shui and what goals are there, you know, what's the objective. And then the feng shui practitioner comes in, one of our consultants come in to study the area and study the people and their astrology charts, and then match it with the objectives. And then we have another meeting with the client to actually have a debrief on what our findings are, and then implementation of what the recommendations are. And then after that is follow-up. Did you get the results? Did you see the improvements? So if you do this whole process, you're bound to be able to get results.
This is how you differ from other feng shui practitioners or master, or...
Yeah, that's why we don't call ourselves masters, because I think that is a very misleading term.
Anyone in Chinese, right?
Yeah, that's the one term that all our practitioners in our company don't call ourselves. It's because we consider ourselves practitioners or consultants, and as a professional we have to engage and work with our clients on a professional level. Calling someone a master without understanding their background and being whether they can deliver results is pointless, because anyone can call themselves a master. I've never endeavored to become a star. Never. I never treat myself as a celebrity, nothing like that. But somehow, because of, you know, TV programs and newspaper and appearing and all that, somehow brought that side out. So I've also worked hard to keep that private, because, you know, at the end of the day, it's the quality of life. Be sure to catch the next episode. Follow your convictions. I'm Joey Young.
If I'm not mistaken, about 4 or 5 years ago, the name Joey Yap suddenly became very prominent.
I think possibly the market has been more educated, because I don't think we do any extra promotions and all that, because I don't believe in advertising. I believe in education. So remember I tell you about education is just one part of our business. So that's possibly because the books have reached a wider audience, and people actually became, you know, more aware of what we do, and possibly that's how they got to us. And that's why they attend our seminars and all that.
How about the different opinions by different, I would say, master/practitioners?
There are lots of different practitioners because there are a lot of different books out there. And this is an old system after all. So since the Tang Dynasty all the way to the Qing Dynasty, there have been many classical literatures. And these literatures were written from different parts of China in the ancient days. So they were written in a certain perspective, and every system works in a certain way, given the circumstances are the same. Now, the way we do it as researchers ourselves is we would study and explore all these texts, and then we will also test them. But we don't test it on our clients, we test it on ourselves first. You know, I think it's most important that we must find it work, and even if it works, under what condition do they work? So there are many practitioners out there and they will say, you know, their systems are the best and all that. Well, in their perspective, it's correct. But for us, we will learn all systems and use the correct one for the correct situation. And therefore, I believe we produce better results this way.
Did you see yourself as who you are today 14 years ago?
Not exactly, but I think I should be doing better.
Wow.
Yeah, obviously I have high expectations for myself, and that's part of the long-term plans, yes.
I'm sure a lot of people are curious. Feng Shui industry in Hong Kong is really happening.
Yeah.
And you know Chinese, you know English, but why don't we see you in Hong Kong?
It's a matter of perception, and I don't quite agree with the perception that the industry in Hong Kong has, you know, it's the current state. But if I do enter that industry there, I would enter in a different perspective. And more like a consultant, less like a superstar, you know.
And the other thing is to talk about international Feng Shui practitioners, the well-known, the renowned ones. We would expect a person from China because that's where it is originated. But you're from Malaysia. How do you look at it?
You see, the original practitioners, the good ones, left. A lot of them left during the Mao Zedong era because at that time there was a cultural revolution, and anything they did not understand, especially even metaphysics, has been, you know, ostracized. You know, they have been rejected from the country. So a lot of the good practitioners are left to Taiwan or even in other Asian countries. That's why you get so many practitioners in Hong Kong and Taiwan today. So a lot of these practitioners today are bringing the art back to China, and we are educating the people there. So that's how they refine the subject. A lot of the materials are gone.
So what's next for Joey Yap as well as your business, your brand?
Oh, this is just the beginning. I think the whole consulting business has much more room to grow. I'd like to train more practitioners because we do have more demand in terms of consulting, and we need more time to train out good practitioners to a certain caliber. So that will be the first goal, in expanding to different regions and different country, and have offices in different areas. Nowadays we do have representatives, but it's not large enough to cater for the demand. So that will be the next stage.
What is the key elements for someone to start to build their empire?
The key element is passion.
Passion.
You gotta be interested and love what you do. And if you love what you do, it's not work. If you don't love what you do, you gotta drag yourself out of bed every morning. You know, that's the most difficult thing.
We all know that you are a workaholic, you spend 100% of your time on your work, on your business. My question is, it doesn't look like you have a plan to have your own family.
See, this is the public perception. And this is the thing that I've worked very hard to keep my private life private.
Okay,
yeah, so
that's really private.
Yeah, so this is the thing. There's a lot of things out there, you know, people writing and about me and personal lives and all that. You see, that's the problem. I've never endeavored to become a star. Never. I never treat myself as a celebrity, nothing like that. But somehow, because of, you know, TV programs and newspaper and appearing and all that, somehow brought that side out. So I've also worked hard to keep that private because, you know, at the end of the day, it's the quality of life. You know, it's not all about work. It's about the quality of life, whether you enjoy it or not. And if that part also you cannot control, it becomes a very difficult life.
Okay. And I got this comment from your close friends. They said, Joey is probably one of the most insensitive guy in the world.
That's why it's a perception.
Again?
Yes.
No.
I think the most important thing that we should know is to know ourselves. It starts from your own identity, and if we know what we are capable of doing, we can then add value to other people's life. You know, people always in life are takers, and in order to succeed in life, I believe that we should be givers. Now, you can only give what you know you have. So it starts from identity, and once you identify who you are, then you know what you can offer to others. And the second thing that we should know is to expand that capacity. When you expand your capacity, you have more to give, then you become a multiplier of life, and whoever you touch, that person becomes uplifted as a result.